Hello and welcome back to another Pioneer League. I'm Tandy, and today we're going to be playing some Is It Prowess featuring Balmor Battle Mage Captain. This deck is pretty straightforward. We have a lot of cheap creatures that get much better when you play instants and sorceries, and we're using those alongside the traditional blue instant sorceries that are cheap and draw cards. Consider and Opt are a great way to fuel things like Young Pyromancer and Prowess, where Treasure Cruise is a great way to recoup card advantage after a long grindy game. We are playing a deck that is fairly aggressive with Monastery Swiftspear and Soulscar Mage, but we have a ton of removal with Reckless Rage, Fiery Impulse, and Play with Fire. Our deck's only playing 18 lands because we have those ops and considers. We really can't afford to get flooded. Although I wouldn't mind playing one or two more lands in this build just because cards like Ledger Shredder are great for letting you use extra lands to just discard. The big addition to the deck, though, I think is going to be Balmor Battle Mage Captain. So 2 mana, 1/3 flyer, legend, bird wizard. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, all creatures you control get +1/+0 and gain trample until end of turn. So this stacks, right? So every time you play it, it gets +1/+0. And so when you have something like Young Pyromancer, it's going to pump all the tokens. When you have something like Monastery Swiftspear or Soulscar Mage, they're going to get basically double buffed, but they're also going to gain trample. And I think that the trample is a big deal for those. People have played uh various things in the past that have awarded trample to the prowess creatures, that cycled and drew a card. Balmor is just a creature version of that, but the +1/+0 should not be understated. I think it's much stronger than it looks on paper. I actually kind of dismissed this card when I first saw it. I wasn't really sold on it, but after just seeing it played once or twice, I can safely say that it's very good. The fact that it has 3 toughness means you can use it alongside Reckless Rage. Same with Ledger Shredder. Swiftspear and Soulscar both have 2 toughness, but they do have prowess, so they do get bigger before the Reckless Rage kills them. So that's neat. The other big card draw in this deck is going to be Reckless Impulse. This kind of replaced Expressive Iteration in a lot of these more low to the ground aggressive decks. Red and 1, you exile the top 2 cards. Until the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. So this functions kind of like a slow, but like a more of a future planning expressive iteration. Expressive iteration, you had to play the cards on the same turn, but you could play the lands. This you can also play the lands, but you only look at the top 2 instead of the top 3, so you don't get any of that selection. So a little give and take, but I think Reckless Impulse pretty underrated and going to be pretty good here. Sideboard, we got 3 Spell Pierce, 4 Ether Gust, 2 Mystical Dispute, a Tormod's Crypt, and 2 Unlicensed Hearse to help out against old Greasefang, 2 Bone Man, and a Giganta as a companion, which we can grab at multiple points if we start to flood with Treasure Cruise. That's Balmor Prowess. Let's go ahead and get to the league. Look, if we come and every time is the same as the first time, I would go there every weekend, just so you know, to do commentary. Yeah, dude, I'm pumped too, man. I want to see y'all again. I actually just remembered a bunch of people's names and stuff too. That like never happens. I'm really bad with names. We're gonna lead with Swiftspear of a Soulscar Mage because I don't really want my creature to die. But we lose out on some potential prowess damage. Maybe we should. Let's see. If they play an elf, I'd rather have 2 creatures attacking. And if they don't play an elf, I'll just play PZ on turn 2. I guess that's fair. I usually like playing Soulscar over Swiftspear first because even though you miss out on the 1 damage, if you have to play a shock or something on 2, you get an extra prowess damage. All right, I want to make sure I get Young Pyromancer active against this, so I'm going to go this and attack with both. I'm gonna go ahead and play the ops. You don't be afraid to play your spells. You don't got to save them for things like Pyromancer, especially if they cycle, because they usually find more of the same. This hand is pretty good right now. Opponent didn't have Fatal Push or Thoughtseize, so I think we're just gonna easily overwhelm them. Looks like they're Rakdos mid. Harvester gonna get blown out by PZ and attack for 4 again. We're cruising, chat. I think our opponent's going to be way too far behind. We even have Op next turn to dig some more. If they had Stomp or something, they would have played it last turn. So that means their removal is either non-existent or costs 3. If all they do is play Graveyard Trespasser, we'll probably find another thing for Op to be able to let our creatures attack through. We're cruising towards Den. We can put Gigantha in hand maybe next turn if we draw an untapped land. And nothing else to do. Yeah, no push OP in trouble, absolutely. That happens a lot. Alright, so they do have the stomp, but they're taking a ass ton of damage. I'm gonna put Gigantha in hand. We're missing out on a little damage, but I'd rather save the play with fire, I think. Trespasser! Alright, should I upkeep play with fire and look for another instant or sorcery? No, because if I draw a land, I just want a Gigantha. Alright, we're gonna put them to 1. And we're gonna play with fire then. Bottom the Soul Scar. So they can attack up to 2. They can play another one of these and go to 3. But otherwise, they're just dead to what's in play. Liliana of the Veil, not it. That'll be a Jeej. We'll just sack the token. Could also shock the Trespasser to shrink it. Yeah, we could have. That would have maybe been better. I like putting them to 1 though, but you're probably right. I would have had to discard Gigantha, but that's not a big deal. Alright, well, you know what happens when Rakdos doesn't have Fatal Push and they're on the draw? They lose. Weird, I know. Alright, do we want Bone Man? It doesn't really target much. I think we'll leave it on the sidelines. Ether Gust targets some stuff, but a lot of their important stuff's black. We could Spell Pierce them. Spell Pierce is likely better than some number of Play with Fire. I think maybe we go 3 Spell Pierce for 3 Play with Fire. I like keeping the Reckless Rage. It kills more stuff. Play with Fire just doesn't have a ton of targets. They might even side out their 2-drop guy because I have shocks. We're going to keep this one. We got a couple threats, and then once our threats die, we have Impulse to refuel. I like that you can play the cards over 2 turns. You play it on turn 3. You can find lands to play. You know, very Expressive Iteration-esque. It's a little bit worse, but not by a ton. Not by as much as I initially thought, to be honest. Alright, no Thoughtseize or push on 1. I'm going to go ahead and Swifty. Just always force them to have removal early. If they don't, you just get to overwhelm them. If you play Opt or something, you kind of just make it easy, their life much easier, you know? Alright, so they didn't go for a kill spell. I don't know if that means they don't have one or what, because if they had Stomp, they should main phase it. They have Fatal Push for my Ledger Shredder. That's a rip. Trespasser. So now we can Reckless Rage. We'll discard an extra Otawara, probably. Alright, so let's go Reckless Rage, bonk, bonk. I'm gonna go and play an Op just to get an extra damage in. No use holding it to like play around like Stomp or whatever, right? Again, I don't think they have Stomp because they would have main phase Stomp on the Swiss Spear. And if they draw Stomp, that's okay. We'd rather get in the extra damage, you know? Like, it's so hard to protect these creatures from removal, you know? Like, we can just hold up a mana every turn for the rest of the game. I just don't think that's viable. Plus, we're going to Reckless Impulse next turn, so I really don't want to, rip. Always get Extinction Event, chat. Alright, 3 cards in Grave. Let's start with a Reckless Impulse. I'm going to leave open blue-red in case we hit a creature that we want to play. We have Opt and Ledger Shredder, so let's go Opt from Exile, look for lands. Consider number 2. I'm going to bottom it. Alright. Drew Soulscar off the Opt. Can't play it this turn. Go blank. We'll discard Cruise and Soulscar, I guess. And we'll just go Ledger Shredder, consider. Go blank's pretty good against us. I'm gonna graveyard Balmor. We already have another threat here. Play my land so we don't get mushed by go blank. Can still push towards Gigantha eventually. Wow. We're getting brutalized. Alright, well, if we get lucky and draw a Crucier, we could be in business. If they don't have a way to accrue the Sky Sovereign, they're not attacking for a ton. This is a big attack, though. And if they have Stomp, they can combo or Laser Shredder to death. Tend to trim some ops. I don't think you trim ops against Rakdos. I think you trim opt against aggressive decks. People trim opt against slow decks, but that's where opt is going to be at its best. Yet when you have the ability to have time, card selection is what matters the most. All right, we're going to concede. This is a weird one. Hard to beat, though. Extinction Event's really the one that got us. Maybe we just Bone Man. Okay, so they left in their 2-drop. So maybe we want all our shocks. We can trim Spike Field. Do I want to maybe just cut all the Spell Pierces and just be as aggressive as possible? I'm going to trim my Spell Pierce. I'm going to trim the Balmor. I didn't feel like I really wanted them at all in that game. I feel like it's one of those cards that's great when you're racing or goldfishing, and pretty lackluster when you're playing against heavy interaction. It's like fine, but I don't know. Empty wants me muted for a game. All right, we got to be muted for a game, chat. 1 minute. Y'all remember when I missed 3 damage? I remember. All right, let's rewatch that last game and do some commentary over it, because we had to be muted for it, because that was a great game. Even though our opponent mulliganed to 5 and we mulled to 6, it was a great game. We didn't even draw Treasure Cruise, chat. All right, so we revealed Gigantha. We mulliganed a pretty lackluster hand. It was no creatures, I think, into a pretty good 6-card hand. So this 6-card hand is one that I wanted to talk about a bit, because I was muted. Thanks, Empty. We're muted for a game, so let's talk about the game as it happens, yeah? So we're going to lead with Soulscar Mage, and we have to put something back, and I think in this stage of the game, we don't need a removal spell until at least turn 3 or 4, so I'm going to put back a Reckless Rage in hopes that we draw one later if we end up needing it. But I want to keep as many pressure points early as I can. We're gonna lead with old Soulscar Mage. And we have a weird draw on 2. We drew Spell Pierce on 2, and they shock Blood Crypt. The shock Blood Crypt is like 100% a fatal push, and I attack with Soulscar and they don't kill it. So that leads me to believe that it's just going to be holding up fatal push for just Ledger Shredder. If I do nothing, they're probably going to fatal push the Soulscar EOT. I don't know why the replay is going so slowly. Whatever. So we attack for 1, they don't fatal push. We decide to just pass the turn and hold up Consider / Spell Pierce. Maybe it'll just be normal speed now instead of freezing. All right, I'm just going to click the forward play button, I guess. All right, we're just going to hit the fast forward play. So EOT Consider. We go Ledger Shredder, hold up Spell Pierce, assuming they're going to fatal push. They do. We fit Spell Pierce. We discard a Swift Spear because I like both of my card advantage things here. And I don't really need another creature. Dreadbore on my guy. We're going to go for Reckless. We find a thing that... So this is where I missed 3 points of damage on accident, right? I un-auto-yielded so I could play like Opt or something before I attacked. And I just missed 4 damage. Just a misclick. That was when I went crazy. But we found Reckless Impulse into another Reckless Impulse. They have Trespasser. We're going to look for a way to kill it in a Reckless Rage or something. We found it. And now we'll Reckless Rage, discard the Play with Fire, and then we'll play Reckless Impulse. Maybe not in that order. All right, we found Spell Pierce as well, but that just means that they are not going to play into it, right? So instead of playing Stomp, they just go for Bone Man. We opt find our own Bone Man. Now we can attack and shrink. We saw Spell Pierce at the ready, so no shenanigans from them. No blocks, and we'll just play our Bone Man after shrinking. And now they don't have good blocks for a while. Our Play with Fire going to take out the Blood Tithe Harvester. If we drew a land, we could also activate Den, but we drew Pyromancer instead, which is pretty good. Our opponent actually went down to 0 cards in hand to rummage. They drew 1, and then they drew for turn. Check out their 2 draws. Their 2 draws for turn were Fatal Push, your 2 drop, and Extinction Event, your 1 and 3 drop. That was such a sick sequence. But we still have Den of the Bugbear. Den of the Bugbear really flexing his muscles. We also have Gigantha in the Exile Zone we can put in our hand if we ever want to, but we're just never really found a spot to. Now, 1 card in hand, we're going to play Swift Spear. We're going to go for a Den of the Bugbear attack. They're forced to trade if they don't have a removal spell, and they're 1. And we obviously missed some damage, so that should have been a lethal attack, but that should be game anyway. All right, we're back here for round number 2. Opening hand's pretty good. We're going to be on the play. Opponent has kept 7. We don't have a play. We'll just lead with Spire Bluff, hold up, Play with Fire, or cast Opt or Consider OT. The first episode was your favorite of the whole series? The first one was kind of, I thought, a throwaway. It like put you in the universe nicely, and it showcased how much of a dickhead that Rick was or whatever. But like, there's so many good episodes of the show. There's a couple of really bad ones too, but there's so many good ones. Oh, thank you. Love you. All right, Hive of the Eye Tyrant. Maybe playing against Rakdos again. Well, we don't really want another land at the moment. I'm going to play Ledger Shredder before I play Reckless Impulse. Since we have so many blue cards in hand, we'll play a Pathway as blue. Maybe I should have kept Mountain, huh? Let's hope they don't have Fatal Push, but they probably do. They always do, you know? I wish they had banned Fatal Push, chat. That's what I wish. The card's too strong. Too strong. I'm going to Reckless Impulse looking for a land, I think. If we don't find it, we can just play the spells next turn. Maybe. Okay. Didn't find the land. If they play a creature and we draw a land, we can trade Young Pyromancer for that creature. Fable. Okay. I think we might get caught in a death loop. We can get caught in a reckless impulse death loop here if we don't draw lands. All right, we're in a death loop, chat. We're dead. Unfortunate sequence. I probably shouldn't have cast it on 2, to be honest. Like light at this stage, it bottlenecks your next turn, and we have a bunch of reactive shit in our deck, so I just really wanted to hit lands and we missed. If we draw a land this turn, though, we can Ledger Shredder plus Swift Spear, and that's not a bad turn. They're just gonna go stomp into play Bone Man. Their hand must be juiced. Their hand must be turbo juiced. I'm just gonna concede. Just not worth playing the rest of the game out. We just got stuck on 2 lands, not a lot to do. Same matchup, worst draw. We're gonna bring in the Bone Man and 2 Spell Pierce. I think that's what we went with last time. We're gonna cut Spiky and Balmor. Balmor is not at its finest against the attrition heavy decks. Your Rakdos and stuff. It's gonna be at its best against like mono green and such. So far, Balmor hasn't shown up, but I also boarded him out twice because it's just not that great against the. Oh, so they're gonna. Oh, they have the deal 4 to my boy Ledger, I think. Maybe they don't. They didn't have it. God, I hope they play the 2-3 or the 3-2. They didn't kill my creature on 2. But I don't have card draw effects to play, so we're just going to beat down. Lily O'Devale. Lily down. They're really stripping me of my parts here. They're not going to play another card, which is unfortunate. All right, well, we drew the line for Gigantha, so we're going to go ahead and put that down. And Extinction Event doesn't take care of Ledger and Gigantha. So let's see if they want to kill our Ledger. They don't. And if they don't kill everything, we have Den of the Bugbear next turn also. Or Play Fire or Reckless Rage, depending on what they do. Not enough food in the graveyard for Croxa, so we don't got to be worried about that for a little while. Extinction Event on Odd would be a good way for them to deal with Gigantha. Inexpensive, so it'd probably let me get in with Den. I don't think they have Fatal Push. I think they would have pushed this a long time ago. Today is Prowess Day. Bone Man cometh. Is there anything that deals 3 damage? That's a good draw, chat. What do you think? Crouch! You betting it for the 5K this Sunday? So if we attack with, or if we poop on this, he has to chump block the Gigantha. Let's see, if we attack with Den, they go to 10, they take 5, 8, 9. Why not double burn spell and swing at the bird? I don't know. Some idiot. Cause I'm stupid. Oh, it costs so much less, chat. Costs so much less. Cause I'm dumb. Alright, I kinda want this other spell pierce though. If I wanted this other spell pierce, what would I cut? I kinda wanna trim a play with fire. That way we can be a little more defensive on the draw on against their Liliana. Gotta mull this one, I think. Reckless Rage just not good enough here. This hand is like almost okay. But even if like our first creature is just almost guaranteed to die, so Reckless Rage probably won't do much. If we get Thoughtseize, we'll lose our thing immediately. We'll keep this. Put back Chivalry probably. What's your favorite list you ever won with, if you have one? I won a classic once um with Thermo Alchemist. That one was fun. I won another classic with Teamer Delver. That was also really fun. I got to basically just play like little, 5K or whatever with whatever deck I wanted, and it was great. All right, opponents, Ley Line is avoiding me, so our treasure cruisers are dead, but everything else is fine. Dress is whatever. They'll take Reckless Impulse. We'll just beat them down as normal. We'll shotgun one because we want to play our pathways later on if we can help it. Exactly. Once you're streaming, like interaction with chat is like the most important thing. Then it's playing the game. Then it's playing the game well. I'm pretty good at autopiloting at this point, though. So wonder if I'm ever supposed to just play these two there. I don't think so. Fable time. We can attack first. They can't block because we have the op to consider that they know about. And then we can play a later shard post combat. If they do block, we'll happily play opt or whatever first. Third Bros, that's just for people who've never streamed or for people who've only streamed for 1 or 2 viewers or whatever. It's not that hard to stream to like your friend Jim or whatever, you know? It's different when like you're trying to see if there's anything wrong with the stream, you're trying to make sure the music's not too loud. There's lots of stuff you can do. Interesting. It's a very odd time to play Extinction Event. All right, well, let's see if we can untap with a young Peasy. If we do, we'll be in business. Den of the Bugbear, that's a good sign. Graveyard Trespasser, perfect. All right, so now we don't have a graveyard. They have Trespasser, which doesn't do a ton. I'm gonna lead with Opt here. I'm probably gonna attack with a Swifty too. Unless I draw a removal spell. I don't want another creature. Attack with just this and see if they block. If they don't, we'll hold up Spell Pierce. They can make a copy of Trespasser and attack, but it's not doing that much more damage. Kroxa. Alright, we'll just discard the Treasure Cruise, I think. We just need to find an answer to the reflection at this point. Will EOT consider? We're looking for Reckless Impulse and removal spells. We'll keep the Impulse for sure. All right, we got Treasure Cruise and Pathway. We'll never be able to play the Treasure Cruise. We can play the Riverglide Pathway next turn. So let's just play Spire Bluff Canal tapped. And no attacks. Yep, they'll EOT make a thing, but it's not eating our graveyard, so they have to target their own or nothing. We'll just take the 3 from the Trespasser should it attack as a token. If they attack with the original one, we will do some blocking, more than likely. Nice, Corey. I'm excited about the new lords as well. Basically all of them. All right, we'll just take this. So they can always make a copy of the Trespasser, so it's going to be hard for us to attack for a little while until we can kill the Reflection or the Trespasser. All right, let's start with an Opt. Bottom the creature, Odawara. I'll put Gigantha in hand. I don't want to bounce the Reflection or the Glutton. We'll just chill. We can still Spell Pierce an Extinction Event should they draw one and cast it. Token's okay. I might chump block with a token here if they attack with Glutton. I'll trade tokens for tokens if they want to, I think. Alright, so yeah, I'll just chump. I think chump's okay. I need one more card for Kroxa. You have a bad pass with Merfolk Boat guy? Come on. Can't be that bad. We'll get Gigantha down. This will prevent the Gluttons from being able to attack. As long as they don't have Dreadbore or something. You're a motherfucking boat! Oh, you're a motherfucking boat guy. Kalitas. Alright, if we attack with just Gigantha, what do you think they'll do? Make a copy of Glutton, double block? We can bounce copy, Glutton dies, or we can bounce Glutton, copy dies, and then they don't have Kroxa next turn. I think that's probably too dangerous, but maybe not. All right, we can still Gigantha plus Otawara here, so we're just gonna chill. We really need to draw something good here, though. Where are your removal spells? I don't know. We haven't been able to treasure cruise. I've gone through no burn spells yet. This reflection is kind of super annoying. I boarded out Upplay with fire, I guess. The one card combo is annoying. I mean, it's annoying that I can't draw a way to kill a 2/2. And it's stifling all my development, all my pressure. The Cletus was like a later addition, though, that's also stifling my ability to do much. All right, I think I might go ahead and bounce the Cletus. All right, I don't want to kill the reflection here just this moment, because that will make it so they can Croxa me. Sanction events. Okay, so these are odd, odd, odd. Mine are even, odd, odd, even, even, odd. Okay. All right, so they're going to name even. Both my pieces are going to die. We're going to be left with 2 Prowess creatures and Gigantha. And we're going to kill this reflection. Unfortunately, they drew the land that turn, or else we could have got them with the Spell Pierce. They may have been playing around Spell Pierce the whole time because they're stream sniping, but... Alright, we'll not doing it during attacks, because then they'll just copy and make one an attack. Kill it now. Now if they make one, it goes away EOT. But we have to deal with Croxa next turn. Reckless Rage off the top would be a heater. Opt is not bad. See if we can find something cool. Stream Sniping's lame. I don't know that it's actually happening, but... we're going to get Croxa, so let's get aggressive. I'll let them eat one thing, and they take a bunch of damage. So they take 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 down to 4. And they Croxa me, we discard Spell Pierce. Next turn we attack with everybody. They block here, take 2. So Shock wins. A couple Prowess things win. I didn't, Mikey, I'm sorry. Are they going to Kalitas instead? Let's see if they have a removal spell as well. Maybe they'll wait on it. Alright, let's attack with just Gigantha and see what they do. Nah, I wrote an article on Sunday and then hung out with Callie. But it was a great weekend. I had a great weekend. Here comes the Crooks. This Ley Line of the Void actually didn't hurt me too much, but it made the 2 treasure cruisers I drew do nothing. So their 1 ley line effectively ruined 2 of my treasure cruisers. But they would have been able to eat my graveyard like every turn with this thing. So I don't know that it actually ended up doing all that much. But our 18 land deck has flooded out quite a bit. I guess technically not that much. All right, you win. GG. Close match. I haven't played against Leyline yet. That was really annoying. I actually missed a lot of the first quarter, so I didn't get to see it. But like when I came in, they were hitting us pretty hard. The first play I saw was actually the 80-yard touchdown run. All right, playing against Mono Red. We have the play with fire on 1. We'll probably go ahead and burn that just to kill their thing. Drew Peasy. Fire Bluff Canal. Excellent magic card. He's at LSU? Really? Figuring out what blue deck to play? May I recommend Is It Phoenix? I really want to grow my thing. I'm gonna discard Pyromancer, I think. They're just trying to burn me out, but the young Pyromancer suffers from just getting blown out syndrome. All right, so let's go blue, I guess. We'll go Ledger. Opponent has conceded and lost connection from the game. Okay, so they conceded match. Interesting. I wonder if they're playing my deck and got frustrated because of Ledger Share. Keep this one. Pretty good ant. Destructron, thanks for 3 months. Says Roll Tide. Got it last Saturday by the skin of our teeth. We sure did. We sure did. Roll Tide to you too. All right, I need to undo this second main stopper that I got for our opponent. Let's blow up their 1-drop. Thalia. Ruh-roh. Play Ledger to punish them if they double spell. No! Thalia's really painful here, chat. I will offer the trade on a Brutal Cathar if they allow it. Brutal Cathar is now protected. Wrong Immutavaults. Falls Lieutenant. Whoops. Alright, well, we're just gonna eat shit here. Take 6. What do I need? A land? Reckless Rage. That one's not too bad. I guess I have to hit a land. Because I can't just Reckless Rage my own Peasy, right? I think we're dead, but it's fine. Alright, so let's go Chumpy here. Then we'll go here, here. Thought Reckless Impulse with Flame Blast Bolt. The card's very good, for sure. Distraction Specialist. God almighty. This is looking quite bad for me. Quite bad, chat. Alright, let's see if we can do some surviving. My gut says we're dead, but we might be able to survive, and they might not attack with everything. Why are all these pictures screwed up, man? What's wrong with Magic Online, huh? Gotta fade Brave? I mean, we gotta fade Brave every day of my life, you know? It's an easy block. It's an easy block. That's an easy block. This is a hard block, but maybe this is the one we gotta make. Take 6 down to 1. I think if we block like this, we lose, but we have to block with Peasy, I think. So maybe it's... Classic drew 1 removal spell when we need to draw 8. Let's get in the Bone Man's. We need some Redding Volleys in the sideboard or something, probably. Got some ops. I like to trim opt against the Thalia decks than the Eidolon decks. Nothing else coming in. Alright. Be on the play for game number 2. Our opener is pretty decent. We'll keep. I'm gonna hold up Impulse on 1, probably. Maybe we should consider on 1. I think maybe we should save Impulse for a turn 2 play. For Thalia or whatever. Since we're on the play. So we can go turn 1, consider, turn 2, Shredder or Pyromancer, depending on what they play on 1. Keep the lands. Might need it. It's also our second blue source. Let's go Pyromancer first. Next turn we can go Ledger Shredder plus Impulse, or we can just Impulse Thalia. Alright, so we go Ledger Shredder. I'm gonna go ahead and blow up the Dauntless. Because it's just slightly bigger, but I want to get my thing online. I'm gonna pitch the Balmor, I think. We got everything already. I want the land and I want the opt and the Reckless. It sucks that we haven't gotten Balmor to play yet, but I feel like he's just not as strong as the others, you know? I'm gonna offer the trade. I'm gonna offer the trade. If you want to, that's fine. We're so far ahead. And, like, the only way I lose, I think, is if they get this big enough and kill me with Brave the Elements. Doing pretty good, Ape shit. Doing pretty good. Alright, let's loot. Bitch of Swifty. Extraction Specialist? That's true. That's true. Probably a bad trade, then. Also, not having the blockers, pretty bad. It was a pretty bad trade, I guess. Extraction Specialist is the reason why we should not have done it. Alright, so let's go play with fire this now. Treasure Cruise. We can get aggressive now. Should have attacked with this too. Don't know why I didn't. Misclick. Take the 2. I'll trade here with Dauntless probably. Nah, let's just take it. Whatever. We're so far ahead. It doesn't really matter. We'll go Balmor. Reckless Rage this. Maybe Balmor's not good because it's win more. You know? Maybe that's why. Maybe it's just win more. Because when we're ahead, it's very good. Alright, we'll keep this one. We got the spike field into Bone Man. Okay, so we can't spike that. Like a cheap Rattleys? Yeah, kinda. I'm gonna go ahead and kill this thing. Alright, well, we're gonna play Balmor. Hopefully we draw a land. I'm gonna play with fire, I guess, now. We're gonna get blown out by, see what they target. We gotta kill Thalia now. They're gonna bodyguard protect Luminarch. Put a counter on hopeful attack, probably. I will play Balmor just as a blocker. We can do some like block plus Reckless Rage stuff if we want. We should have maybe main phase of Reckless Rage. Alright, so let's kill the Hopeful. Barf. Alright, so we're gonna take a large chunk here. We're probably dead. This is 5, 6, 7 if they pump this. Yeah, this is too much. Too much. We interacted a bunch and just got hosed, man. Not a lot to do. We need a bunch of things in the graveyard to help this matchup, I think. Need some running volleys. All the other ones, like, they can stand alone, but Balmor can't really stand alone. Needs a lot of help. I'm gonna tap lane on 1. Tan, do you think Sarah Paragon would be good in that mono white deck? I haven't. You mean the mono white deck we just played against? Because if you're talking about that deck, my answer would be no. Sarah Paragon is a card you want in a mid-range deck with like Fable the Mirror Breaker. I've seen some Rakdos decks splash white for Sarah Paragon, and I think it's looked really good. Really enjoyed of One Mind in the deck. How have you enjoyed Impulse over it? I really like Reckless Impulse. I just feel like we have too many 2-drops. Okay. Thoughtseize is pretty good here. They're going to take our cruise and we'll just Impulse next turn. If they play a creature, we'll blast it. Is 8 Wizards enough for Wizards Lightning? I don't think so, Apex. I think you need 12. 12 has always been my go-to for it's good enough for 12. But I don't think the 8's enough. Soul Scar, and then you need one more 1-drop, but the 1-drop just doesn't exist. That's the big thing. You need to be able to go like get to Lava Runner, something you kind of have to play, and it's so bad. I'm gonna discard Play with Fire, I guess. Top for this. Techies. No love for Symmetry Sage? I mean, it's okay. Are there any decks playing any of the Defilers? I saw the Hazaret Monument deck play the red one for the Infinite Combo, and it looked really good, actually. All right, let's put Jag in hand. Let's attack for 2. It looks like they've F6. I'm going to play PZ. Weird. Takenuma. Okay. That makes more sense, I guess. Is she that bad? I don't even know what it does, honestly. Whenever I don't know what something does, that almost always means that it's not good enough. O2 Flyer. Magecraft. Whenever you cast or copy an instant sword spell, turn creature controls base power 2 until a turn. No, it's not good enough. That's so bad. Alright. Lily coming down. I think we'll sack Ledger Shredder. PZ just seems like it'll get out of control if it survives. Alright, attack Lily down. We don't want to have to discard. You wish Delver was an Insect Wizard on the back? That's almost never going to be a problem. Delver is just not good enough. Alright, another Lily. If they minus, we'll just sack token. They're going to plus. I'm going to discard Jeg over Reckless Rage. I want to... never mind. I'm just going to play Jag next turn. It's so big. I was afraid they might play like a big 4-drop or whatever, but I think I'm just going to attack and play Jag. I don't think they're playing any sort of sweeper. They have a lot of 1-drop creatures, you know? Looks like they're basically mono black. They're probably splashing for Abrupt Decay, would be my guess. Alright, so let's say bring in the Bone Mans. And I like the removal here. They're Liliana the Veiling. Like, I think we'd be in much better shape in this whole league if these were just more young Pyromancers, you know? Alright, so Bone Mans come in. We want to be a little more controlling, and I'm not sold on Balmor, so we're going to trim them. I don't think we want anything else, though. They didn't have enough green stuff for Gus. I didn't even see a green card, I don't think. All right, we got to mold this one. You don't get it? Why doesn't Balmor stack up? What do you mean? We're talking about a different card. The O2 that makes things base power and toughness bigger. No play on 1. No play on 2. Let's hope they don't go removal into Lily. If they do go Lily minus, I may just stomp it, but I might wait for them to tick up once. What's up, Ross? Are you going to play the Founding Third Path with See the Truth for more ancestral shenanigans? No, all my cards are just going to be good. Let's see if they block first. If they don't, we'll double kill. If they do block, we'll just stomp, I think. Prowess creatures are so broken, dude. There's just no chance you can ever block when Soulscar's coming at you, you know? Maybe I should have attacked first and then just played Ledger Shredder. Invoke Despair. Alright, we'll sack this one. We'll lose some life. They'll draw 2 cards. Maybe I should have played 2 creatures. Yeah, Spike tried it in Modern the other day, Ross, and it was bugged. But I also don't know that it's that good in outside of just like, I don't know. It's like kind of cool, but I think 4 Treasure Cruise is enough. I might play 4 Cruise, 1 Dig. But I really want to play 16 creatures. But I might play fewer. Plus Oak Champion. That one's not very good. Might pitch the land. We might pitch a shitty spell here also. So we deal more damage. Just pitch a shitty spell. Keep the land. Can't block. Can't activate castle. I need a actual wrath effect here. Does not draw E3 on flashback? I don't know, Dragon Lord. I just know that it doesn't work. Alright, we went 3-2, but one of our wins was a round 1 concession against Mono Red, which I think is a pretty decent matchup.